The Revolutionary War provided more than freedom from England. It also provided a new crop of settlers for the southern states. War heroes were given large tracts of land for their efforts. Nathaniel Greene was just such a man. Though born in New Jersey, his efforts in the South during the war landed him a plantation near Savannah called Mulberry Grove. This well-liked hero seemed a perfect choice to have a county named after him. And in 1786, in honor of Nathaniel Greene, Greene County was formed. General Greene was not the only popular member of his family. His wife, Catherine, was known as a charming lady of great beauty.
His wife, Kitty, I think it was considered the best dancer in Washington, D.C. And George Washington said he'd rather dance with her than anybody else there. So he sent Nathaniel down here to fight like David did Uriah the Hittite in the Bible.
When George Washington visited Savannah, it is said that at a magnificent ball given in his honor, he danced with Catherine Greene for 4 hours. But Washington was not the only general impressed with her beauty. Another war hero transplanted to Georgia, General Anthony Wayne, was rumored to be in love with Catherine Greene. It is said that his attention to Mrs. Greene became so apparent that General Greene was going to visit Wayne at his home to discuss the matter. On the way, while staying at a friend's plantation, Greene suffered a stroke and died. He was only 44 years old and never got a chance to visit the county that bears his name. It was the lure of the land that convinced early settlers to pack up their belongings, gather the family, and plant themselves in a hostile, untamed environment.
The timeless strength of blue granite. The inspiring beauty of an artist's touch. A solid foundation with a reach extending skyward. Over half a century in the making, overcoming the pounding of the cannonball, the destruction of fire, the ravages of war, and the stifling grasp of poverty. The South Carolina State House parallels the struggles and strengths of the state itself, and like the state, stands now as a jewel to be admired. The South Carolina State House, tempered by the past, poised for the future. Like much of South Carolina's early history, the story of the State House begins on the coast. As the seat of government, colonial Charleston was the home of the first State House built in the 1750s. But as inland areas of the state began to be settled, some South Carolinians wanted a more central location for the capital. With travel on horseback over unpaved trails the only means of transportation, members of the South Carolina Assembly living in the upstate argued that traveling to Charleston was too far. While Low-Country representatives wanted the capital to stay put, they eventually agreed on a compromise to locate the new capital city in the geographical center of the state. They called the capital city Columbia. Columbia's first State House was a wooden structure that proved to be inadequate from day one. State officials feared that the public records stored there would be damaged by fire. The original State House in Charleston burned shortly after the records were moved. After the first architect the state hired proved to be incompetent, John R. Nearnsey was brought in to oversee the project. His original drawings resemble the State House we enjoy today, except he envisioned a tower instead of a dome. By 1861, the outer walls were almost complete, but construction of the State House was about to come to a screeching halt. War. The war between the states left the State House unfinished, and in 1865, General William Tecumseh Sherman left his mark on the structure. Union troops fired cannons at the building. 4 of the shots fell inside the building without doing harm, but 6 others hit the outside walls. Though they did minor damage, they're marked today by 6 bronze stars. The end of the war left the state in poverty. With no money to finish the State House, a temporary roof was placed on the building to prevent further damage from the elements. For decades, little work was done on completing the State House, but by 1907, with a total price tag now running at almost $3.5 million, the building was finished.
It is a world of majesty and of mystery, a world of unseen mountains and untold tales, tales of travel, treasure, and tragedy, a world that keeps its secrets well. The oceans remain the last place on earth that man has not truly conquered. But sometimes, this keeper of cold, dark mysteries allows a piece of the puzzle to come to light. For more than 130 years, the mystery of the Civil War submarine, the H.L. Hunley, was one of the ocean's best-kept secrets. But like any good secret, it is most powerful when it is finally told. Despite several attempts over the years to find the Hunley, the waters off the South Carolina coast held on to this secret. Legendary showman P.T. Barnum even got into the act by offering $100,000 for the recovery of the historic sub. But it wasn't until 1980 that the mystery began to unravel. American author and adventurer Clive Cussler assembled a team of divers from the National Underwater Marine Agency, and with the cooperation of the South Carolina Institute of Archaeology and Anthropology, the hunt was on. The group mapped several sites with the magnetic intensity to possibly be the Hunley, but the investigation was postponed. 14 years later, armed with magnetic information, determination, and a little luck, the team finally found the Hunley.
You always have that, is it there, is it not there? And to have that answered right there while you're touching it, it is here. Oh my gosh, we found it. That was really exciting.
The stage was set. The sea was finally ready to talk.
To actually see success in young people, to me, is the most exciting thing about the work.
When I'm talking to my students and I can see a light bulb go off, when I see them make connections.
When we see our students graduate and get jobs in the major corporations around the country or local companies, or maybe they get out and start their own company, then this is really the best measure of our success.
It really is the energy I get from my undergraduates. If I see them succeeding, if I see them sort of opening their mind to new thoughts, new ideas, then I think I've succeeded.
There is a unique measuring stick when it comes to education. Your true success is judged not by what you accomplish, but by the accomplishments of others, those you teach, inspire, and transform. For more than 200 years, our success has been measured in knowledge imparted, minds prepared, leaders produced. This is the College of Arts and Sciences of the University of South Carolina.
Prize-winning scientists have trained here, phenomenal artists and people who enrich the culture not only of the state of South Carolina but the nation and the world have trained here. Important political figures, both of the state and of the United States, have graduated from this College of Arts and Sciences. And so I believe that their impact goes beyond the sheer number. I think the work that the alumni have gone on to do is simply first-rate.
This success comes from an impressive array of intellectual pursuits and fields of study.
sheriff's office.
Come on, please. Please hurry. Please get my brother back.
What did he take?
Please,
Hey, what did he take? What did he take?
Heroin. Heroin or something.
Heroin?
Or fentanyl.
Hey, man, what's his name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Bring my brother back.
You got the Narcan?
Please don't let
Jonathan.
Like ridden bulls, broken tons of bones, and never flinched. But this thing kicked my ass. You know, it really did.
I wanted a chemical solution for a spiritual problem.
You know, I ended up choosing to be, you know, pretty much the scum of the earth, just so I could feel good for, you know, hours on end.
Probably one day a month we would see Reagan, the Reagan that we loved and all. But other than that, she was either on Xanax, passed out on the couch, she was kicked out, you know, it wasn't Reagan then.
I was the kid in high school and through most of college that would go to, you know, down the hall to the other dorms and tell the guys to go to bed because we have a game tomorrow, and not go to parties and not do any of that. And a couple years later, I'm selling my car for drugs.
But really, none of it was good. It was all the devil, more or less, and it all just led down a bad road that ends the same for everybody, no matter what the drug is.
You know, it's people I've talked to maybe 6 months ago, 2 months ago, last week, yesterday. It's just, they're not there anymore. They're dead.
There is Zach Stout. We talked about him in the Open, the junior out of Dublin, Ohio, played at Iowa Western.
With injuries come drugs, and especially for athletes, they do everything to keep you happy and keep you on the field and playing. And yeah, that's how I was introduced to that.